Okay, in this video, we're going to be solving by factoring. So in the last section, 12-4, we solved these by taking square roots. So in this case, we can take the square root, and we get x equals 3 and negative 3. So again, you have a squared term. This is a quadratic. You're going to expect two answers. So here we have positive 3 and negative 3. All right. You can only do this if there's no b term. So here's another way to do it. I'll explain that later. So in this section, we're going to be solving this by factoring. So just like I said, chapter 11's factoring is going to be coming back in this section. Okay. So for these, I have a quadratic. I can factor here using the x method. If you recall, this is the same as x squared minus plus 0x minus 9 equals 0. And I can factor this. This is negative 9 on top, 0 on the bottom. The factors that give me negative 9 and combine to make 0 is negative 3 and positive 3. So now I have x minus 3, x plus 3. So minus 3 and plus 3, those are my factors. And we still have to make this 0. And like in the last video, we're going to use the 0 property here. So I have x minus 3 equals 0. This is going to give me x equals 3. And on this side, I'm going to have x plus 3 equals 0. And this is going to give me x equals negative 3. So in conclusion, I'm going to have x equals 3 and negative 3, just like we had in this answer. All right, so this is solving by factoring. Okay, so here's the next problem we're going to do. A squared minus 4a equals 5. So notice here that this has a b term. So this you can't solve by taking square roots. It's not going to work. Actually, it's going to be more complicated if you try to do that. So in this case, we're going to follow the steps that we laid out last time. So we're going to make one side 0. So I'm going to make this side 0. So we got 0 equals a squared minus 4a minus 5. And now that we have our quadratic here on the left and we have the 0 property, we're going to use 0 property. So we're going to get our factors now. I got negative 5 and negative 4. My factors here are going to be 5 and 1, negative 5. So my factors are a minus 5, a plus 1. A minus 5, we use the 0 property, equals 0. A equals 5. A plus 1 equals 0. So you're going to get a equals negative 1. So a equals 5 and negative 1. So these are your two answers here. All right. Here's the last problem I'm going to do for this video. So in this case, again, I have quadratic. I'm expecting two solutions. I'm going to make one side 0. I like keeping the x squared positive. So I'm going to move these over to the left. So now we have 10x squared. This becomes minus 56a if you subtract it to both sides. And we're going to add 30 to both sides here. Okay, now we're going to factor. So remember your first rule of factoring, we're going to look for the GCF. I have a GCF here too. This becomes 5x squared minus 28a. Sorry, that should be an x. 28x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, we're going to use the x here. 15 times 5, this is 75. And we got negative 28. So here our factors are 25 and 3. Negative and negative. Okay, then we have to do grouping here. So I'm going to pause it and skip ahead. Okay, so here are your factors. This one you can't factor. These we're going to solve normally. I'm going to pause it because I'm running out of time. We're going to set each one equal to 0. We're going to solve, and here are your two answers.